What's up? This is Wylie the Werewolf, and tonight what I'd like to talk to you about is subtracting whole numbers and decimals. All right, subtracting, taking away, making it smaller. And so the first thing I want you to remember is that you got to locate your decimals. We talked about this before when adding whole numbers and decimals. So locate them. So I'm going to give you a couple numbers here, and we're going to just locate our decimals with these different numbers. All right, so we're going to start with the bottom one first, because some of those are the easiest. Now, where in this number, 0.431, is your decimal? And I already said it, it's point. So you're going to have a point there. That's going to be your decimal spot. Now, what about this number, 431? Where is the decimal in that number? It's a little hard to see, but it's actually right there. So sometimes you could see it right away. Now I put this example here, 431. Where's the decimal in that number? It's not here. It's not here. It's not there. If it's not there, you can't see it. I mean, if you can't see it, it's not there. So it must be at the end, and it is. That's 431 turtles. This is 4.31 turtles. This is 0.431 turtles. This isn't even half of a turtle. 4 turtles. 431 turtles. That's the most turtles. And so the first thing I want you to do is locate those decimal points. All right, here we go. So let's look at this number here. Let's not do a decimal there yet. Trying to get rid of it. All right, 139 minus 43. All right, so once again, where's the decimals in these numbers? And you can't see them, so they must be at the end. So we're just going to quickly put them there. Because then what you're going to do with those decimals is you're going to line them up. That's your next step. You're going to take 139, there's your decimal, put the decimal here, put the 3, put the 4, and we're subtracting. So make sure you subtract. If you add, sometimes that same answer will be there later on. So it could be really confusing, or you could get it wrong. Understand, subtract or add. What are you doing? So you got 9 minus 3. Also, that decimal should be right down here. We're lining everything up. It's looking beautiful. Everything's symmetrical. It's lined up. It's organized. You got 3 minus 4. Well, you can't do that. And that's where you have to borrow. So this becomes a 0. This becomes a 13. So you took 1 away from here, or 100 away from here, and you brought it to your tens. And so that becomes 13 minus 6 would give you 9. And then there's nothing here. Now you could put a 0 here, but why put a 0 there? You don't say, can I have 0.96 of something? You just say 96. So once again, I brought down that decimal. That's why the decimal is important. And you have 96 as your answer. 139 minus 43 is 96. Here's another example. All right, so here's a 13, and this is point. This is really small, but we still need to subtract it. So the first thing I want you to do is locate these decimals. And so once again, there's your decimal, there's your decimal. Easy as pie. Thinking of pie. Makes me a little hungry. All right, so let's go ahead and let's line up those decimals. See the decimal 004. Now, what we talked about in adding whole numbers and decimals is we talked about adding zeros because we want to have the same number of place values to the right. So we have 1, 2, 3 place values on the bottom. So, hey, let's just have 3 on top. It's only fair. All right, so we have 100. So now you have 13.1 hundred thousandths, and this is 4,000. So now we're still going to subtract it. 4 minus that, or 0 minus 4, you have to borrow. This becomes a 9. This becomes a 0. So you have 10 minus 6 becomes a, or 10 minus 4, I can't read. The moon's getting ready to change. It's confusing me. 10 minus 4 gives me 6. 9 minus 0 gives me 9. 0 minus 0 gives you 0. And these two, you could put some zeros here if you wanted to. Gives you just flat 13. So I'm still lining up my decimal. Need a different color to show you. But lining up my decimal, 13.096. 96 thousandths. And so once again, it was important to line up my decimals, and add some zeros there. I'm give you another one. Whole numbers I don't think you'll have a problem with. You just got to line up your decimals. But anytime you have decimal numbers, let's do 1.09. All right. So the first thing you do, once again, is find your decimals. Then you're going to line them up. That means you're going to rewrite it so that they're lined up. And what do I need to put up here? Because I have 2 down here. What do I put on top? You said it. 0. All right. So now we're ready to subtract. 0 minus 9, you got to borrow. 10 minus 9 gives you 1. 1 minus 0 gives you a 1. Still line up your decimals. Sorry, that's not a 1 there. Don't mean to confuse you. Line up your decimals, and then 1 minus 1 gives you 0. So your answer here is 0.11, or 11 hundredths. All right, so just a couple of things to remember. Find your decimals. Line up your decimals, add zeros, and then subtract away. Well, we'll see you again soon. Gotta head out. Arrgh.